Geoffrey Ernest Duke OBE was a British multiple motorcycle Grand Prix road racing world champion. Born in St. Helens, Lancashire, after retirement from competition he was a businessman based in the Isle of Man. Sporting career. After reaching the status of team sergeant in the Royal Signals motorcycle display team, the White Helmets, Duke was a prominent figure in racing in the 1950s, winning 6 World Championships and 6 Isle of Man TT races. First entering the Isle of Man Manx Grand Prix in 1948, he retired after 4 laps of the junior race. He came to prominence after the 1949 events, finishing second in the junior race after remounting due to a spill, and winning the senior race with a record lap and race average speeds. He also won the 1949 Senior Clubman's TT. He signed to the Norton Works team for the 1950 TT, finishing second in the Junior TT and breaking both lap and race records in the Senior TT. After winning 3 World Championships for Norton, he moved abroad to Italian motorcycle manufacturer Gilera in 1953. With Gilera, he had a string of 3 consecutive 500cc World Championships. His support for a riders' strike demanding more start money led the FIM to suspend him for 6 months, dashing any hopes for a 4th consecutive title. For 1953, he joined the sports car racing team of Aston Martin to race the DB3. Teamed with Peter Collins, the pair led the 12 Hours of Sebring until Duke's accident and resulting DNF. In 1955 he was declared the first rider to lap the Isle of Man TT course at 100 miles per hour, though this was later corrected to 99.97. As a consequence, the official first 100 miles per hour lap is credited to Bob McIntyre, also on a Gilera. In 1957, Duke was a non-starter because of injury. His final race was the 1959 Nations Grand Prix. In 1963, he formed a racing team, Scuderia Duke, with riders Derek Minter and John Hartle, to race the 1957 Gileras against Mike Hailwood riding the M. Virgusta. During 1964, Duke was appointed competition manager for Royal Enfield Motorcycles, helping to develop the new GP250 Clubman's category production volume road racer. For the 1965 International 6 Days trial held on the Isle of Man, Duke was instrumental in helping to devise the 1,000-mile course and sections held on an island measuring approximately 30 miles long by 10 miles wide, particularly using tracks which would be unavailable in mainland UK due to restrictive legislation, a problem which did not arise on self-governing Isle of Man. Additionally, the island had hotels easily able to cater for the visiting teams, followers and spectators with a traditional goodwill and enthusiasm towards motorcycle sport. Duke acted as clerk of the course to the ACU, the governing body of motorcycle sport in Great Britain including the Isle of Man, which interacted with the FIM International Organization. In 1967, Duke acted as entrant for the class-winning Triumph Bonneville ridden by John Hartle in the 750cc capacity section of the newly introduced 1967 production class, which required racing machines to be based on roadsters, complying with controlled specifications using selected adaptations only, available from the manufacturers as part-numbered inventory. Personal life. Duke was the most famous rider to adopt one-piece leathers. He had enlisted his local tailor to make the first of his now famous one-piece race suits. He was named Sportsman of the Year in 1951, awarded the RACC Grave Trophy and, in recognition of his services to motorcycling, was awarded the Order of the British Empire in 1953. After retiring from racing, Duke became a businessman, initially in the motor trade and later in shipping services to the Isle of Man. In 1978 he was instrumental in setting up the Manx line that introduced the first roll-on roll-off ferry service to the island in competition with the 150-year-old Isle of Man Steam Packet Company. The FIM named him a Grand Prix legend in 2002, highly honoured by the Isle of Man, where he made so many of his world record-breaking rides. A point on the mountain section of the TT course was named after him in 2003. Three sharp bends at the 32nd milestone between Brandywell and Windy Corner now carry the title Dukes. He died, aged 92, at his home on the Isle of Man on 1 May 2015 after being ill for some time. Duke's funeral cortege assembled at TT Grandstand, Glencrutchery Road, Douglas, Isle of Man on 10 May, prior to a last lap of the Snaefell Mountain course, followed by a private family funeral service. World Championship results.